tell me, what was discussed today?
Last Friday, we learned that there's been further erosion of the city's financial conditions, so we've made the decision we should initiate a review under Public Act 72 to look and see if we need to be in a condition of emergency in the city.
And what does this mean? For residents who are just hearing about it now, what does this mean?
It means that the state is of the view we need to act, and most of the council members and the folks in the mayor's office, I think they recognize that it's getting too close for comfort and that we do need to see a change here.
Does that mean some sort of emergency manager or bankruptcy? What does it mean?
It means we'll initiate the review, which could lead to an emergency financial manager. I don't see a Chapter 9 at this point. I think that we can navigate through this without that.
Was this requested, or did the state just automatically step in and take a look?
Well, I was working with the mayor's office about bringing in some of the operational and restructuring consultants, and at the end of the meeting on Friday, they just indicated that there was further erosion of the city's cash position, and that led me to call the governor on Saturday and brief him, and we've decided that we need to initiate a review under Public Act 72 so that it could get to emergency.
Could this impact that bond money from the state?
We'll work with the city through this, but now that we're pursuing, the review under 72, we'll make certain that they navigate through December.
Now, the erosion of the city's cash flow problems based on what?
$12 million was related to an error that was discovered as it related to the pension fund, which I think was before council today, and then there's another $28 million of revenues that didn't come in as were forecasted. So I think there's several items that are behind the $28 million.
What is your response when such large amounts of money are they go unnoticed until the last minute like this?
Well, it's part of the reason I'm here today. So I think, I think most people recognize that we need some change, and that's what we'll begin to pursue right now.
Things aren't getting done. Is that the fault of the mayor? But you have a program director or manager in place. Why aren't things getting done?
I think it's a lot of things. I mean, you have a lot of processes that have to be followed, and you have a council that needs to review, and you've got a corporation council that has their own turf now. So you've got a mayor, a council, and a corporation council, and then you've got a lot of resistance from the unions. So it's a combination of factors. I wouldn't say it's just one thing.
This Miller-Canfield conflict going on, what's your response to that?
I got a call about 3 weeks ago from Councilman Cockrell, and he asked, do you care what firm it is? And I said, no, but the mayor needs a law firm to advise him on restructuring. And which firm it is not the state's business, but my thought was, why would you change horses halfway through? Because you're going to pay someone else to get up to speed. So it's their decision who they hire, but we would just hope that they have someone.
Public Act 72, does that give the manager authority or power to just disregard union contracts?
No.
It doesn't have that authority?
No.
Could more bond money be coming forth? Is the state willing to pay more to help Detroit stay solvent?
There's about $80 million or so in the escrow, and as you know, we laid out the milestone agreement, which they didn't make the November milestones. They probably will soon, and then December had additional milestones. So with the beginning of the review, we'll revisit what makes sense in terms of what are the appropriate milestones going forward, and that's what we discussed with various council members today.
Will you continue to have the state continue to have the city hire a restructuring firm, an operational firm? It's all very costly for a city that's broke.
Yeah, although the cost of not doing it's greater. So while they're not cheap folks, I mean, if you look at the city's operations, when we went through the review, it became clear to me that the operations are as broken as the balance sheet. So, every day, we're subsidizing DDOT and we're subsidizing the lighting department, and, there's a lot of waste in the way the city's operating today. So you bring those folks in and they're expensive on the front end, but if they're not saving you money on the long end, then they're not very good. So we'll make certain that we got the right people in here to help us get the operations where they need to be. Citizens will get services and we'll save money at the same time.
Can Detroit avoid bankruptcy?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the state is going to help pay for the operational team and the restructuring team?
Right.
Approximately how much is that going to cost?
Well, we're working on that right now. We've got to negotiate them down. They're expensive people, so.
Expensive like what?
They're just, you're going to spend, I'll give you an example. Montgomery, Alabama, the county down there, is in Chapter 9 process. Their legal bills were $15 million a year. So, you know, this is not a cheap process, but if you hire the right people and you get good outcomes, it'll save money in the long run. So I'm not saying we're spending that much money, but I'm telling you, if you're not careful, that's what happens to you.
What is the big message that you want council members you spoke with to take away today?
We want to work with them. Just because we're initiating the review doesn't mean it's a takeover. I mean, it means that it's the beginning of a review, and that I'm here to meet with the mayor and council members to say, can we do this together? It doesn't have to be confrontational. It can be a partnership.
When will the review begin?
Probably sometime next week.
And officially, what's it called? Just a review team, similar to the way it was called before?
The old process under PA 72, yeah, so very similar to what you saw with Public Act 4.
And
Okay.
when would it be finished?
Within 30 to 40 days. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for
Thank you
stopping.
very much.
We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.